Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. I'm your host, Kyle David. Today, I got a special guest with me. This man and I have gone back and forth through Instagram for years now. I've been watching what he does. The man's inspiring. He's a super talented artist. I won't introduce him too long, but I have with me today, Max. Max, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Let's pop into this. So just give us a quick rundown, man. Like, who are you? Where'd you come from? What's the story?
Yeah, so I'm Max Moon. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, but I've been in Dallas for about, I'd say roughly 11 years now. Music is my passion. I love it. And outside of music, I'm big on self-development and character. So that's me. Would you like to make the final purchase?
Come on. Now, when you say self-development, like dive into that. What do you mean by that? That means something different to everybody these days, especially with the internet and YouTube, and people are all over the place.
Honesty.
Okay.
Honesty is big for me. There's so much stuff that a lot of people are going through on a daily basis, whether they're rich or poor, beautiful, don't consider themselves to be, appealing. Whatever people may label themselves, everyone's got something they're going through.
That's a fact.
And I think in order to build the life you want, you've got to be honest with yourself. Anything.
Yep. Talk about it. What are you finding like on the journey? Like, because we're all on the journey, right? We're all on a journey of discovering who we are, what we want out of life, how to get it. What are you finding that's like helpful when it comes to being able to be honest with yourself? And what do you think holds people back from being honest with themselves?
Hold themselves accountable. A lot of people can't hold themselves accountable to things. So, I'm not one to preach from the choir. Like, I'm not this person who's got it all together. I'm just saying I'm figuring it out. And as I'm figuring it out, there are certain things in my life where I realize in order for me to get to where I really want to be, I got to hold myself accountable. And I'm working probably 16 to 15 hours a day doing a lot of things. And so all that takes focus. It takes self-discipline. It takes saying a lot of no's. And it takes a lot of hope to kind of keep myself focused on the vision of what I'm doing.
Yep. Hope is huge. People being able to have vision for themselves. I was talking to somebody recently about being able to cast vision for yourself and hold to it, because there's times throughout the journey, you know this, that the only thing you're really going to have is that vision, right? Because there's times where life hits you in the face, you're down, you can't see past where you're at, and you have to just be able to hold on to vision. Like, give us like kind of the dream for you, because I know that you have a lot of big aspirations. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I'd love to hear, like, what's the goal, man? Like, where are you headed? What's the ultimate thing?
Well, my goal this year, brother, is to be another local artist, obviously. And to clarify that, I would say, when I say local, I mean, by the end of this year, people are going to know, yeah, that guy's from Dallas. And once we can complete that goal, the next step is to get into becoming a regional artist, to where we can move into areas of Arizona, Louisiana, Tennessee, some areas like San Antonio, Houston, doing a lot of shows in areas like that. So one step at a time is what we're doing. But I kind of want to dive into your question. What else?
Yeah.
There was something else you asked me, brother.
Yeah. Like, so when it comes to vision, holding yourself accountable, being honest with yourself, all those things, like, what does that look like though, practically? Like on a day-to-day, like you're working 15 hours a day. Like, how are you holding yourself accountable to becoming that artist that you want to be? Which I believe you will, because I've watched you. Like, you've been doing this for a minute. What are the things and the habits that you have in place that help you do that, and not be like, I'm gonna go kick it today. I might just take today off. You know what I mean?
Well, pain. People will do more to avoid pain than they will do to gain pleasure. And it's painful when I don't meet my goals. It's painful when I know I have every right capable of accomplishing something and I'm slacking. Like, if I didn't upload that post at 12 p.m. or if I didn't go to if we didn't book for that performance, or I didn't record that song, or even the simple things, like, people don't know when you get into the studio, you don't just get on the mic and record. your vocal tones. If you eat chocolate or you drink cold water before you hit the mic, it's going to strain your throat.
Mm.
So even having the discipline to wait 3 hours before I go to the studio and just remind myself, like, I can't eat this, I can't eat that before I lay down this song. Like, I'm very particular about a lot of things going forward right now, and it can be a pain in the ass some days, but I mean, it pays off.
Mm-hmm.
It pays off what I'm doing.
Where'd you get started in music? Like everybody has like an origin story of like, hey, I grew up around music, or I was doing this and then this happened. Like where was your thing where you're like, oh, I'm gonna try music?
Bro, I've always been musically inclined.
How
I mean, music is, I think everyone has some type of gift, man, where it's already inside of them and they just little by little discover who they are in life, you know, and as life goes, they kind of draw it out. And I think our parents are able to see that too. But the only problem with our parents is that most parents um, kind of see themselves in their children and they see a little bit too much of themselves in their children. And they don't allow their children to have self-expression or, you know, their own identity. And so instead of encouraging that dream or encouraging that talent, they begin to block it with their own pragmatic thoughts or personal ideas of what they think success is.
That's a fact. I think we've all experienced that in some capacity, right? Your parents love you, they want the best for you most of the time, but right there's, hey, you should play sports because I played sports and I was really good at sports and I was into sport, right? And there's sometimes a lack, and I think sometimes that comes back to the schooling system too. There's a lot of just do this, do this, do this, and do this, right? Do math, reading, writing, science, but there's not always leaders, as in the teachers or the administrators, looking for what are the gifts in these kids and how can I feed that. For you, was there anybody that saw it, or did you have to fight to be like, no, 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 this is my thing?
Well, I mean, it goes back to our original statement earlier. You were like, uh, what do you want what do you want out of life? I believe is the question.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, bro, if I'm being honest, I would have never told myself I want to be a global artist. Like
Mm-hmm.
the idea, it looks cool, but the work behind being a global artist, it's fucking tiring. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into what I do. And I think I'm just getting started. I'm working with two people now who have some big connections. One of the people on my team, his artist is preparing to sign the Pitbull. But
Let's go.
yeah, congratulations for Ren. But you know, with myself, man, it's just like now that I've gotten to a new team, it's like he's just showing me the foundation of like how much work has to be put into this goal to get to where I'm going. So I wanted to touch on another point about honesty because
Please.
I want people when they listen to my interviews and they listen to our conversation and our connection, I want them to realize I'm a human being. I'm more than just a musician. I think something else I've been focusing on right now is love, bro, and relationships. Like I really want to be in a relationship, bro.
Same.
I really want to be in a relationship. I've had some badass girls this year. Some mean ass, sexy, oh my gosh, fall off the bone, rib bone chicks. But the problem is that you know, a lot of people don't understand how attraction works. Attraction or romance, the real philosophy behind it. I think a lot of men in our generation are suffering from lack of knowledge and not knowing how to keep their partners attracted or how to properly date and court their partner. So that's something else that I'm studying right now. So I'm really big on. What about you?
I'm curious. Why do you think that is? I have my own thoughts on why I think a lot of the men struggle these days. What do you think it is? Is it social media? Is it just a different generation being raised differently?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different generation, but women are attracted to strength. They're attracted to masculine qualities. And if you look at even in the pride community, with a lot of people who are a part of the pride community, you always have the feminine partner and the more masculine partner. And
Mm-hmm.
so it goes to show that no matter what scenario it is in nature, femininity, feminine qualities are always going to be attracted to strong, dominant leadership qualities.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that doesn't mean you have to be like this big boss CEO. It means that you're decisive. You know how to pay your bills on time. Got a little money stacked up. You know how to say no when no means no. You respect yourself. So I think a lot of men struggle with things like that.
Mm-hmm. You're
Voicing
right.
their opinions too, man.
Oh, come on. You said something twice now. The ability to say no. That's something I've been thinking about, man, recently. Like, and I read something last night that was from a super successful entrepreneur that was talking about the more money you get, the more ability or the more success you get, the more the ability to say no is crucial because people are coming for you. They always want something from you. And you have to be wise enough to know what's worth my time or what's helpful, right? Like this person may want something and I have to be wise enough to know, first of all, I may not be able to help you, or it may not be wise for me to do what you want because you may not see how that's not helpful for you. But again, you have to protect your time, your resources, your talents. But you said it twice. I'm interested to know for you, like, have you had experience with having to be like, hey, I got to say no to a lot of certain things that may be pleasurable, I may want to do because I love people, but no is a really helpful thing to learn in my experience. And you've said it twice. I'm interested what you think about it.
Yeah, yeah. No has been the barometer of a lot of things in my life that begin to start foundating themselves.
Hmm.
Because all in all, you don't get what you want out of life; you get what you negotiate. And a lot of people don't realize they're either being sold on someone's idea or they're the ones selling someone on their idea. And a lot
Dang.
of philosophies are people's ideas of what should be done. Some are good and some are trash. And so to me, it's important to say no, man, because let's say I'm on the street and I'm walking and I'm iced up, I got good clothing on, and a person who's more unfortunate than myself comes and they see me and they see my clothing, they see how I'm dressed, and they're like, bro, let me hold $1. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a couple bucks. And I'm like, I don't got it. Immediately they're gonna be upset because they're like, I see you dressed in cool clothing. Just like, man, you don't know I just dropped $800 on my rent. You don't know gas is high as fuck. I just dropped, $40 this week on gas. So no, to me keeps me away from hurting myself.
Hmm.
Uh, it's the practical way to keep myself validated.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So like you're saying right there, people immediately get upset. And this isn't just in that scenario. This is in life, bro. You know this. People will get upset at you with no context, right? We have a whole look at the world, right? Look at social media. People are upset about everything. They're always upset. They're always triggered, but they don't have context on things. Like, right, like what you said. You don't know what I just did before I came here. And even a bigger picture, like people will get upset and angry about something with very little context. So we live in like this generation of like rage and anger and just instant anger, right? Like people are just mad instantly. What do you think there's a way we can walk that back? Because if you talk to older folks, I talked to my grandfather or my dad, they're like, people weren't like that back in the day, right? People still would get angry, but there's just this, we have technology, we have social media now that provides everybody the opportunity to get mad at everything instantly. Like you'll see, something will happen and half the country's like, bah, and just angry because they've been triggered. Is there a way for, I guess that goes back to what you said about like self accountability. How do people get to a place where before they get angry and lash out or get upset, like they work through a process of like, let me have a good perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do people gain a good perspective and control their emotions in a better way? You seem very in control of your emotions, but I could tell you're very focused. So that tells me that you have some type of lock on how to control your emotions, even especially if you're working 15, 16 hours a day, you have some type of like lock on your emotions. Not perfectly, probably, but you've done something. How do people gain better control of their emotions?
Well, I mean, honesty is the answer to all that. I can go into this long answer,
Do it.
but honesty to me is the pinnacle of all growth. I
Hmm.
mean, if you know you're overweight and you know you want to be a slimmer size, the only thing that's stopping you from reaching that goal is your diet and your work ethic when it comes to working out.
Mm.
If you know you want to be in a relationship, and let's say you want, I mean, very attractive women want very strong, dominant, inner strong guys who sometimes it's not even all about the money. Sometimes it's about character.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to saying no. You know, a lot of guys don't know how to say no, or a lot of guys don't know how to be themselves. And we live in a generation where people don't know how to look in their hearts and tell themselves, what do I want out of this situation? Is it
Mm-hmm.
benefiting me? And I know I kind of dived a little bit further from the point, but I wanted to touch on something else,
They're good.
like friendship and connections. Um, I've been realizing for myself that my connections with people is the most important thing with me right now in my life too.
Mm.
Because I work so much, um, I'll never get that time back. You know, when I'm working and I'm doing all this stuff that I'm doing to get to where I'm going, you got to be honest with yourself, bro. Every day that's passing, you'll never get that day back.
Facts.
You know, I look at my chin hairs, I'm like, God damn, them bitches came in fast. Before you know it, they'll start getting gray. It's like, you know,
Yep.
I have to tell myself, like, you on the clock, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You on a time limit. You've only got so much time to get that done. So I guess that's the answer to the question: holding yourself accountable, being a good time management person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of people are live in fantasy world.
Talk about it. Yep. When you mentioned character several times. Like what do you mean by character, right? Like I think I know what you mean, but like what when you're looking, how about this question? How when you're looking for people that you're gonna say yes to, what are the character type things that you're looking for in a person, whether it's a relationship romantically or someone you're gonna allow to have a piece of your time because it's very precious? Like what are you looking for as far as character in the people you surround yourself with?
I would have to say, as far as character, the one thing that I'm looking for 9 times out of 10 when it comes to people is honesty, bro. I keep saying honesty.
Mm-hmm.
If we start with honesty, we can have anything we want out of the relationship.
Hmm.
The moment you become stubborn, the moment you prideful, the moment you become selfish, all that shit is going to hinder the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I'm a big believer in, even if you don't believe in the Bible, I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
believer in personal development. And a lot of therapists, every therapist will tell you the first way to recovery is by acknowledging that you have a problem. And so, um, any relationship that I have, the relationship is not going to always be smooth. It's going to be some times where there's a miscommunication. It's going to be times when you know, things don't go according to plan. But as long as we're honest with each other,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we can build anything we want to build, have the life we want to have.
That's solid. I have a friend who is working on a book called The Only Way Out is Through. And his whole point is that almost exactly what you're saying. Anything you want in life, you have to go through, whether it's the struggles or you want to heal, you have to go through the process of healing. You have to identify everything you want. And I love this saying, everything you want is on the other side of hard. Everything is hard, right? You want a great relationship, there's going to be hard things. You want to make $10 million, it's going to be hard, right? You want to be the biggest artist in the world, that's going to be hard. Like choose your heart. And I've also heard people talk about, you know what? The other side of those things is hard too. Like being overweight is hard. Being broke is hard. Not having the things you want is hard, right? Like it's emotionally hard. So it's like choose your type of hard. Do you want to be stagnant and deal with the hard of your day to day of I don't have any money, I'm unhappy, I don't have the things I want, or the other hard of like I'm headed there, but this is also hard. You know what I mean? Like it's very obvious you've chosen the other hard of like, well, I'm gonna choose the 15-hour a day hard. But there's a lot of people that choose the I'm gonna stay broke hard and be depressed hard. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a choice of what kind of hard you want your life to be, because life is not easy either way you choose it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, goes back to that same that said a minute ago. And we all have time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The as grim as it sounds, and as dark as it sounds. I don't know my death date. You don't know your death date,
Mm-hmm.
but God forbid if it was soon. Why would you want to live life taking L's when you have total control over it? The way
Mm-hmm.
you foundate your life.
Mm-hmm. I would love to have you talk a little bit about like what's your view on the world when it comes to like faith creation. I know everybody's got different perspectives. I think I kind of have an idea, but like the world is full of options. This is what I've found in my old age of 34. The world is full of options on how you want to view, right? Like you said, when it comes to personal development, you can view the world through so many different lenses, right? And when it comes to like spirituality or how you're going to choose like a moral compass or a set of values to live your life by, like have you found that thing that you're like, these are the values that I choose for myself? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
yeah. I mean, I live by the Bible. I don't. Now, there's some aspects in Scripture where I don't really. A lot of things was like, damn, it's kind of hard, God. But I live by the moral compass of the fruit of the spirit.
Hmm.
Because in actuality, no matter what you study, whether it's Reiki, zodiac signs, numerology, um, Egyptology, whatever you study and subscribe to, Buddhism, Nation of Islam, all these things lead back to the core fundamental emotions of trust, love, honesty, um, patience, stuff like that. The stuff that makes the human character a valuable person.
Hmm.
Because I can have money and still be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I can be a very pretty person and have no integrity.
Hmm.
Why would you want to date someone who's pretty and they fuck everybody they see?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's character. It's really I'm big on character, bro.
Mm-hmm. I know, I can hear it. I've heard it like 6 times. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's why there maybe is some alignment between you and me, because I think we have very similar views and values on the world. I'm curious, like, what recently is there something recent? Because people are gonna listen to this, and I want there to be some tactical, like, what's some recent personal development things, like actionable things that you're learning? Because I know I'm assuming you and I are very similar in like I know I've never made it. I always am learning. I'm always identifying, man, I could be better here. I could be better here. But I'm also finding things that I'm as I read and listen and watch the world and listen to people, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can implement this into my life. I can implement this into my life. Like, are there things recently that you've been implementing that are like, man, this is about to 10x where I'm headed?
All all how did my manager say it? He said, every decision, whether it's a failure or a success, goes back to leadership. It all points back to
Hmm.
the person who's in charge.
Hmm.
And if I'm the person in charge of my life, like I'm the one who decided to sit down, park downtown, walk over here, set my laptop up, set this phone up. Like I took the time out of my day to get on this podcast, and you took the
Hmm.
time out of your day to get me a podcast. That must mean you had some level of control
Hmm.
to make this entire scenario happen.
Hmm. That's
If
good.
you had that control to do that, how much more control do you have over your life when it comes to the romantic prospects you choose, the power behind how you decide who's going to be in your life and who's not going to be in your life, the amount of money you want to make. Like when you start thinking like that, there's no limit to the lifestyle you want to live. And every other emotion that comes from that, whether it's pride, lust, greed, all that other shit is just negative emotions of not meeting the goal.
Hmm.
Like pride, for example. A person who's prideful will tell themselves, I'm the best, with no amount of results or no amount of, of actual stats. And they'll totally ignore a person who's doing way better than them, has more potential than them, more abundance than them. And all along, while they're prideful, they're missing out on opportunities of collaboration. I think when you're honest with yourself and you're humble, you'll have more opportunity.
Hmm.
But when you become this stubborn, what is it? What they say? A hard head makes a soft ass. when you become this stubborn know-it-all, no one can
Mm-hmm.
tell me shit. The way I live is the truth. Yeah, you're gonna experience a lot of pain in life,
Mm-hmm.
and pain is life's way of showing you that you're not showing up right. Anytime you experience pain, that's life's way of telling you you're not doing it right. There's always a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Dang, I love that statement right there.
I'm gonna charge
Pain.
you for this
Oh
conversation.
man. Send me an invoice. That's good, man. Pain is life's way of telling you you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Let that one simmer. I like what you said too about leadership, right? It's like self leadership, because that's kind of what you were diving into right there. Is like it's about leadership and you have control. And how do you lead yourself? Because like the way you lead yourself is the way you're going to lead the people that watch you, the people that you're influencing, your family, your friends. Like the way you lead yourself is how it's where it starts, right? People want to be like you said, people want to be a CEO and a millionaire and be the biggest artist in the world, but those people have to be leaders. Those people aren't followers, right? You don't reach the pinnacle of success in anything by being a follower. You have to be a leader, and you have to lead yourself first, which is like exactly what you've been saying this whole time about honesty and character and personal development. That's self leadership. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of people want to be leaders for the fact they see the stats, they see like
Mm,
the glitz and glory that comes with the reward of being a leader, but they don't see the work
mm-hmm,
of having to tell yourself no, having to tell this person no, and it's not good to always be contrary for the sake of standing out. It's
mm-hmm.
not a good thing. If
Yep.
you're disagreeing with a point and you don't even understand the point, or if you're trying to argue against something, whether it's a lifestyle, love, like today's generation attacks so many relationships and they attack the idea of love
Mm-hmm.
that it's because people attack things that they're not connected to. This generation attacks romance, and I'm not talking about the shit that the Romeo and Juliet bullshit. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the heart. You can feel it in your heart when you're having a heart to heart with someone, and they connect with you, and they understand you, and they accept you,
Yep.
and they're there for you. That's the type of love I'm talking about. And this generation does not know that concept
Mm-hmm.
because we're so big on like the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one.
Yep.
You know, um, honesty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a
We,
T-shirt that says honesty next time I see you.
bro, you should. You might need to make some merch that just says honesty. For real. Think about it.
Honesty
No,
with a
it's
period.
you're so right though, man. Like everything's instant gratification. I think that's one of the biggest problems in this generation is instant gratification. I want to be rich now. I want to have a girl or a guy now. I want to have. I need a new car now. You know, there's no that takes away the whole idea of work ethic in a way, and also the whole idea of like the journey is usually the reward, right? Like the product at the end, whether it's success or money or all that. When you talk to people that have it, you realize that the process is more important than the product, right? The process, like you've talked about this whole time, the 15 hours a day, the things you're doing now, like that's what people miss. They don't understand that like the actual enjoyment is in the struggles of the process and figuring things out and learning, because you'll get to the end, you're going to get there someday. I've
Yeah,
watched you. I'm fully confident you're going to be successful at what you're aiming for.
yeah,
But
for
if
sure.
we miss the journey of getting there and enjoying the journey of getting there because we just want it right now, that defeats the whole purpose, right? Like I really believe that God wants us to enjoy this life, the senses that he gave us, the emotions he gave us, the relationships, the time. If we just negate all that and try to get to the end, we miss the whole point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, and I have my views on a lot of things, and even in the Christian church, I'm a big believer in faith. But I think in the Christian church, they teach people to wait on heaven after life. Even in relationships, I don't think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
churches are stressing the idea of attraction and romance,
Mm-hmm.
what it means to be an attractive partner, how to actually go and get an attractive partner. Because in the church, they beat on us sin, 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 fornication, adultery, all that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't talk about what it means to date a person with integrity, or what it means to date a person who it's an attractive quality to you that would make you say, man, I got to wife this person.
Ooh, that's a good question. Man, really just honesty. I hate to say the word again. but honesty is attractive. And honesty in a way of not just being honest with me, but when you can tell someone's, maybe authentic is a better word. When you can tell someone's honest and authentic with themselves, it's so attractive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we live in a world where people don't know how to communicate. And that's one point of the relationship I was telling you about,
Mm-hmm.
um, with the relationships. And I just been making this whole conversation about relationships because
I
that's
love
just
it.
that's where my focus is at right now at 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I look up and I'll be 40, I'll be 34 here in 10 years. And God damn, the time is gonna come by quick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was 12 years old, it came by fast.
Yeah, this thing is
Yep.
you have to put things in place. In my opinion, you have to put things in place so that the time doesn't just fly by and become meaningless. Right? We can become workhorses so easily, and there's such a wide array of experiences available to you in life, relationships, joy, pain, all these things that if you don't feel them to the fullest, you're missing out on so much. And I do agree. We could do another podcast on the Western Church in America because I got
Yeah.
my own feelings about it as well. We
Yeah.
have told people for years all the things not to do, and we I think there's been a poor job done in teaching people how to experience the fullness of life now. Because, like you said, I know people are like, yes, wait for heaven. I don't think we were put here to just get through it to get to heaven. Like that would be purposeless. You know what I mean? Like, why even put us here if the goal is just get out of here and get to heaven? I don't agree with that. It sounds like you don't either. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. We were put here for a reason, and we're supposed to be able to do this thing to the fullest. And then afterwards, we could figure out heaven too. That'll be sweet. That sounds great. But
Yeah.
don't miss this.
Connections and love and relationships and honesty, humor, and all that. See, and
100%.
the thing is with that, when you learn how to be an attractive partner, it's almost like admiring. You like Naruto?
Say that again.
You like the show Naruto?
I've never seen it. I mean, no, I'm
Okay.
aware of it though.
What I think when you're okay, comic books, Marvel, DC, all that,
Mm-hmm.
in the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you watch the Avengers lead up all the way up to Avengers Infinity War,
Mm-hmm.
one thing you'll find in the character in the arcs of those storylines is it's not about the villain, it's not about the hero, it's about the quality of character within those characters that we can
Mm,
admire and we can actually connect to. You know, Iron Man
you're
1
right.
got this rich guy who's snobby, believes his ideas are great. And then it takes him getting a hole in his chest to realize, oh shit, there's people in this world who want to take my creations
Mm,
and use it to harm people. So with great power, with great influence, let me keep them away from that, right? Um, and I guess to correlate that and make that more simple with me, I'm a rapper.
mm-hmm.
I'm a good rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I can do what I can do. But if I get on the mic and I start talking about fucking this bitch and taking your bitch and selling these drugs and all that, do you know the effect that that has in the community?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that when people get done listening to those songs, they actually psychologically go and think like that?
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got a generation of people walking around, moving and thinking like that. And I just released a song called 2 Liters, and I hate it.
What's it called?
It's called 2 Liters. I just released it.
Mm-hmm.
It's off my upcoming project.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too happy about that song. I'm not gonna lie. That's not who I am.
Hmm.
When I put that song out, I thought about it for a minute, and I said, "Bro, no,
Hmm.
that's not you, man." You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
So
here's the thing, too. Mad respect for you for what you just said, because this life ain't about perfection, right? It's about constant learning. And there's times where we do stuff. I do stuff every day where I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like, I love that you were able to say that with full confidence and transparency, but also I guarantee you're like, great. Well, the next one's gonna be killer. So, right, you don't get hung up on that stuff. You go, cool, learning next.
thanks. Yeah, that's what I like about life, though. I mean, I'm just trying to get to the point where I can look over the mountaintop and take a breath and be okay with
Mm-hmm.
the silence, looking over the mountaintop and taking a breath.
I love that.
There's so much stuff. I think in a person's day when they're trying to do what I'm trying to do, to where you feel this compression in your chest and you feel this tightness and you feel this sense of responsibility. And it can get hard. It can get depressing. It can get like very monotonous, but it's gonna pay off. And not because I'm some hopeless guy. It's gonna pay off because that's who I am. I make it happen. You know, whether it's today or tomorrow, I make it happen. So
it's gonna happen, bro. Yo, before we get off here, I want to do two things. One, can you plug? Where can people find you? Where can they listen to the music? Hit us with the places to get you.
Man, you can check out most of my content at officialmaxmillion.com. That's where most of my stuff is at.
Okay.
Then follow me on Instagram at officialmaxmillion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Bro, thanks for your time. I'm going to say a few last things, bro. I really respect several things about you. I love the focus on honesty, man. I think that's going to take you super far in life by just being able to be honest and transparent. Most people lack that, and it's something that it took me years to learn. So continue on that journey, man. And you're a leader, bro. Like this 40 minutes that we just talked, like you're a leader, man. But for real, like this is just from me to you, bro. The world needs more people that are leaders that will show people, hey, you don't have to live like that. I'm not perfect, but watch how I live, right? Watch how I'm disciplined. Watch how I set goals and execute. Watch what I'm about to do. Like, go get it, bro. We need people like you because, like you said, that we live in a culture that doesn't represent that well. It's everybody trying to do whatever they think they need to do instead of doing what they know is right, like you said earlier. So, bro, I'll get fired up, but let's link again. But keep it up, man. Like, I have full faith that you're going to be fully successful. I could tell.
Yeah.
You're a leader.
Yeah, I'm down to get on that podcast again. You know,
let's do it.
Just definitely send me the details, brother. But I'm ready to post this. I think we got a lot of good content out of this.
Yeah, this was excellent. All right. Well, I appreciate you, man. Until next time, we'll see you.
Best, bro. Thanks,
later.
Man.
Absolutely.
Peace.